One.
What I've been wanting since they wreck.
No, I
Be my baby.
Duly noted.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it.
And welcome again to the Duly Noted cast.
Episode 2. This is episode 2.
This is episode 2.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
The one everyone wishes they could forget.
I remember not being super upset with them, but I also was much younger and had a much less appreciation for cinematography.
Or good movies.
Or
'Cause
good movies in
apparently,
general.
because it was a bad, objectively bad movie.
But sand, am I right?
I hate sand.
I hate sand.
It gets everywhere.
It's so coarse.
Coarse. Coarse.
Before this becomes a movie podcast, we're just gonna get into it. So, Tim, what have you been listening to?
I have been listening to I just am so tapped into the rock and roll scene.
You're really a one-trick pony.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
You're really a
it's
one-trick goose.
Well, I've been doing a lot of rock shows, so that's sort of the aesthetic I've been just in.
One-trick
lately.
Malamute.
What, Malamute? Let's go with like birds, like an emu or something.
One
One-trick dodo. I did it.
trick
One.
owl.
All right, we're going to be done with that. So I've been spending a lot of time, again, with the Hard Rock and Rock A-list, and there's some new jams. Breaking Benjamin is still breaking my heart because they won't release the stinking album.
Oh, they shouldn't
They
go
just
breaking your heart.
Oh, come on, Benny. They keep releasing more singles, so they have 4 total singles on this album. The new one was called Psycho, and they also released a song called Blood, which is
naming it Psycho
awesome.
Naming it Psycho is tough because Post Malone released a single recently that was Psycho.
Ah, that's crazy. I did it.
I can't really do the Psycho theme.
All right, so this is my man Breaking Benjamin. Well, I guess he's Breaking Benjamin. He's gonna break my heart. The song is called Blood. It's really just a dope riff.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah, and it's a departure from where they were before because the last album, A Dark Before Dawn, was really sort of just a leaner version of what we heard from their closer album before they broke up and then sued the bejesus out of each other and came back. They were going for a less metal aesthetic. It was
They were going for less metal.
Yeah, in the what's the name? Anthem of Angels? No, that's not what the Anthem of Angels was a single on the album. I cannot recall the name of the album, but they were sort of being the entry-level metal is what
Baby's first metal.
Our colleague Eric Sala affectionately referred to them as, because I mean it's metal that you heard in Halo that introduced you to that sort of scene, and then you learned I like Cannibal Corpse now. Whoa, I wrestled the bear once. So that's one of the jams. Another jam I've been spending a little bit of time with is this Perfect Circle jam called Talk Talk.
Oh yeah, you made a perfect circle reference I think in the pilot episode.
Don't be a tool.
We're doing this again.
There are bits
Go
that will
watch
return.
Side Note. It's funny. I spend a lot of time making them.
So the song Talk Talk, I'm noticing that there's a great deal of commentary that they're placing in this song, and generally in new Perfect Circle songs. They're very, very critical of people these days, and it seems to me to be a little bit different from what they've been doing before, which is just making interesting sort of progressive hard rock metal music. So here is a Perfect Circle from Eat the Elephant. The song is called Talk Talk.
Faith without works is talk. Without works is faith.
So this song, really, it's complaining that particularly religious people have this horrible habit of saying that they'll do these things, good deeds, be like Jesus. One of the lines is, talk like Jesus, walk like Jesus, and then it ends up just becoming talk, 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 because it's all talk in their opinion. I think that's an interesting commentary in what is otherwise a sort of really easy to listen to song for Perfect Circle. If you've listened to Disillusion, they get really intense. So I think it's good stuff. What have you been listening to?
Well, again, plugging for Record Rundown. You can always see what I'm listening to in any given week. But another one that I've been spending a lot of time with is Bebe. I'm sorry, it's not Bebe. I got people commented on that. It's BB Rexha's Meant to Be.
Now, how are we supposed to know that with a song out there that's called Hey Bebe,
right?
When they spelled it like that?
Yeah, I know. I cannot. First it was Camila Cabello, and now it's BB Rexa. But Meant to Be features the Florida Georgia Line, which is a country group.
Wait, what?
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, I do pop analysis at the end of every month. I take whatever's at the top of the charts that I haven't looked at before and do a thorough analysis of it. And for this month, number 2, because I've already done number 1, which was Drake's God's Plan, this one was BB Rexha's and Florida Georgia Line's Meant to Be. It is it's in that country pop vein that people have become so divisive about.
Now, you and I had a conversation some time ago about the distinction between the country pop and what is sort of like this Americana thing. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So what happened is as country music progressed, it became more and more, I guess, popularized with more synthetic drums and basically incorporating elements of what was known as pop music during the day. So a lot of hip hop and EDM type things. So country started going in that route. A lot of people were displeased with that. So there was this division within the country genre. One side was modern country, which we know it now, commonly referred to as country pop, and the other side broke off into Americana. That was done to basically preserve both audiences. So Americana became where you'll find more traditional country like Willie Nelson, and you'll find more of the bluegrass. So basically American folk music.
No, was that audience driven or was that like a Nashville thing?
Honestly, it was probably a little bit of both. I do know the music industry in Nashville is huge, and that's where a lot of the country music comes from, is those studios based in Nashville. So there was a decision made to do this kind of branching path. And that's why in the Grammys, there's the whole American roots genre, or category of awards. And that's where you'll get traditional R&B, that's where you'll get bluegrass, and that's where you'll get like the more traditional country artists.
And amazingly, no metal. I'm so surprised by that. Like, no metal at all.
Well, you know. But so here's really quick. So this is a clip from the track that I listened to. Analyzing this was a pain because in a part of it, and for a majority of the chorus, they do 3-part harmonies.
Oh.
Which was obnoxious for me to analyze.
Well, I mean, in country, you're dealing with you're dealing with a lot of different like tone qualities and timbres, and sometimes can be like misleading because if somebody sings with like horrible tone, you'll get weird overtones too.
And Florida Georgia Line is a duo. It's Brian Kelly doing backup and Tyler Hubbard doing lead. So they're normally doing 2-part, but with BB they have the 3-part. So here's a little snippet of that. This is Meant to Be.
If it's meant to be, it'll be, it'll be. Baby, just let it be.
So that was fun to do.
Was it?
I like to remain unbiased when I look at these things.
Wow, that was something.
But
that was
yeah, if you're interested in that, the pop analysis episode is up. If you liked the previous one, God's Plan, honestly, you're probably not going to like this one. But I mean, it is interesting because I mean, you get to see all the notes done out there, and BB Rexa is mostly known for doing pop stuff. She's done stuff with Martin Garrix, with G-Eazy. She just did something new with somebody. I forgot who it was with. Regardless, that's up there if you want to watch it. Other than that, it's the Record Rundown stuff. A couple of ones I want to point out. I mean, I did listen to the Stone Temple Pilots. Meadow, we mentioned last week. One of my favorites, though, is by a previous American Idol contestant, Casey Abrams. He was in the 10th season. I think he only made it to 6th or 5th place. So, but he's been doing a lot of work with Postmodern Jukebox, which is a group on YouTube.
I love that stuff so much.
That does basically jazz versions. But he's released a solo album, I Put a Spell on You. Here's the title track from it, and I really enjoy it.
Because you're mine.
Okay.
I put a spell on you.
I really like the great, like it's all like there's blues, but this is like traditional blues
from the belly. Yeah, what I like about the postmodern jukebox scene is they're like, if it's a song that isn't a common time of any kind. Let's just put it in like a 12/8 shuffle kind of
Right,
thing. All of a sudden,
exactly. Right, so obviously I'm a big Postmodern Jukebox fan. Go check them out. Plug for a YouTube channel that's not mine.
yeah, they're glorious. I love them.
One of the more tracks I'm more critical of, XXX Tentacion released an album after he said he wasn't going to make any more music. It's called Question Mark, symbolized just by the actual question mark. This is the single from that. This is Sad by XXX
Is it
Tentacion.
sad or is it called sad?
It's called
Am I gonna be sad?
It's called
This is sad.
Here's the clip.
Rug sad.
You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go. I'm sad, I know, yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah.
Okay.
So my issue with that, and this was similar when I looked last week at Lil Yachty's Lil Boat 2, there is not a single track on this album that's over 3 minutes.
That's so weird. You know, it's sort of strange.
The entire album is 37 minutes.
Wow.
And there are many tracks on here which like are a minute and a half, and I'm like, is this just something that's happening in the hip hop industry? Because Lil Yachty's was the same way. Logic, not so much, and neither was the Black Panther soundtrack, which are other big hip hop albums. Those have a bunch of tracks, and Culture 2 by the Migos has a ton that are longer. But these other younger rappers like Lil Yachty and XXX Tentacion, given he's more of a R&B singer pseudo than more of a rapper, at least in this album, but they're really short.
It's sort of the way of old punk, you know, when you could just slap on an old Ramones jam and it'd take only 2 minutes to get through. What do you think is driving that? You want to speculate with me for a second on this?
I honestly don't know. Maybe because they can turn out albums quicker, but I mean,
Maybe.
the Migos Culture 2, there was testimony saying they could do the track within 45 minutes and the entire track is done, but they regularly have tracks that are over 4 minutes.
Well, maybe it's driven by who is producing or who they're getting the track from. Because sometimes you'll see these kids that are doing the production. They're doing really great work, but they're creating a verse-chorus sample, and that ends up only being a minute. And if you loop it, it ends up being a couple minutes. Maybe they're just doing a single loop pass and so that they go through the material twice, and that's it.
It was a very interesting week for me because it was a very diverse group. Like for this example, this one is more of an experimental album. Guitarist Bill Frisell released Music Is. He's a jazz guitarist.
Is what?
But here's a sample. This is Rambler from Music Is.
That backing guitar
Right.
behind is just really catching my ear. That was, well, at first I thought it was a weird effect in the primary guitar, but that's not it at all. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's again more experimental, especially in jazz.
That's
in
a
the jazz
real
charts.
classic tone too.
Other than that, everything was pretty typical. The Love Simon soundtrack was up there. There was a album released by the Santa Fe Desert Chorale, not the Desert Chorale, as I
love
mistakenly called it a
desserts.
couple times. I was like, but I mean, other than that, it was just that's really all that really caught my my ear, I should say.
Caught your earballs.
But I'm trying to think. But yeah, one thing I did want to mention really quick though is on the Love Simon soundtrack, it charted on the rock charts.
It's a shame that Garfunkel doesn't get quite that amount of love.
And I'm going to play you the lead single from the soundtrack, Love Lies, which is by Khalid and Normani. So let me play this for you.
Wasted day and spend the night underneath the sunrise. Show me where your love lies.
That was on the rock charts.
That's hilarious.
And that brings up the issue that soundtracks tend to be multi-genre. So, I mean, it was easy with Black Panther because that was basically an entire R&B and hip-hop album.
Well, yeah,
that
it
was easy.
really informed by one primary artist and one composer.
Right. But,
Pretty unusual.
But this one, I mean, for the most of the soundtrack, it's the rock group Bleachers that does a lot of it, but this was the lead single from it. So, I mean, I guess it's charted on rock charts because it's mostly rock. But again, this was the lead single, and this was a hip-hop tune.
That's interesting.
And this is why I hate genre labels.
Yeah, it sort of just becomes really convoluted. But now for something completely different. I heard this morning new Bless the Fall. This jam is called Hard Feelings. And
we played this, I think, last week when the albums were being released.
Yeah, this
so you took some time with it. Okay.
I did. So it made the A-list. So this introduction is just gnarly.
Very cinematic.
Oh, it's huge. Do you think I can get away with playing a little longer?
Knowing my YouTube channel and copyrights, I would say I'm just going to talk over it the longer you play it.
Just hear this riff.
This
is disgusting. This is amazing.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's keying into that old sort of Bless the Fall sound, which is iconic in my opinion, as someone who spends so much time in metal, but it's also just the production value is amazing. That cinematic opening.
Would you say that between you and this album there are no hard feelings?
There are no hard feelings, but that might just be wishful thinking. Oh, syncing. Darn it. Now I'm out of sync. The people in the control room look like they're in actual pain now. I actually can't see them.
I can see one of them.
That's fantastic. Well, we're going to go into a quick break here after I cue up some sounds here. Here's some inside baseball for my friends. I'm in charge of things, and sometimes I forget them, and this could be a bit, but it's still loading the material because the outro is going to begin any second now. Oh, there it is. All right. We'll see you after the break.
And welcome back. We are now going to talk about things that have happened.
And stuff.
Things and stuff.
Otherwise known as the news.
News.
Events worth thinking about. So, what's in the news?
So this is not something that had an official news story. This is just something I noticed. If you watched the last record rundown video, you'll notice that I was talking about Metallica's Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which, as some of you may know, was released back in 2016. And it got back up there because they were doing a promotion in which you buy a concert ticket, you get a copy of the album.
Mm-hmm.
So it artificially inflated. It got back up to number 2 on the Billboard 200.
Which is crazy when you just think about genre.
But this is not the first time this has happened. This happened a couple weeks earlier with Bon Jovi's This House Is Not For Sale, which I mentioned on Record Rundown again, that it was up there because if you bought a ticket to the concert, you got a copy of the album.
Well, you know why.
And that got up to number 1.
They wanted it dead or alive.
And thank you. That is actually no. But it's just this. It's just surprising that it becomes so. Like number 1. Like if I pull up, it Hardwired jumped from like 42 to number 2. Like
so
40
sort
spaces.
of an underperforming album for Metallica standards.
Well, I mean, when it originally was released, it did get all the way up to the number 1 in top rock albums on the Billboard 200.
But how long was it sustaining there? Because Metallica, generally speaking, maintains a high level of popularity for a long time, with exceptions being Death Magnetic, really. So when you see something like Hardwired jump up and sort of disappear into obscurity again, it's a little disappointing because they disappeared from Loudwire in 3 weeks.
It got to number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 on December 10th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing just how the charts work and rock albums in general, it probably dropped immediately after that.
That's really a sad thing.
As for This House Is Not For Sale, it got to number 1, again on the Billboard 200, November 14th, 2000. So both of these got to number 1 at the end of 2016 and have now jumped back up in 2018. 2 years. Well, almost 2 years.
Wow. Well, he probably just declared that it's my life. And it is now or never.
Why aren't you making any Metallica jokes?
I'll get there.
But so, just to give you an idea of how they're doing, Hardwired in the U.S. is platinum. It's gotten 1 million units. However, This House Is Not For Sale hasn't even been certified in the U.S. In UK, it's gone silver, so 60,000.
Good for them.
And worldwide, it's available in CD digital released by Island Records. But yeah, so Bon Jovi has gone gold in Australia, gold in Austria, and silver in the UK. I mean, Metallica has many more certifications. Gold in Australia, platinum in Belgium, gold in Italy, 3 times platinum in Mexico. So that is more worldwide appeal, apparently. But again, Bon Jovi went to number 1, and it's only silver in the UK, and number 1 on a US chart. And it's just, I don't know. I'm almost like personally offended. How dare you take advantage of the system?
Well, yeah, and it's honestly sort of just a intellectually lazy way to boost album numbers for a decent headline, or at least some adding credibility to the print for hard copy. That seems to me artificial and dishonest.
Just to give you guys a taste of like the music that we're talking about, I got the two title tracks queued up from the album.
Hardwired.
I've hardwired
Not
from
Spit Out the Bone?
Metallica.
Okay.
Nah, I didn't want to give them that quite yet.
Do you have it?
I don't have it queued up, but I could.
I'll cue it up because it's worth listening to
Re-
after you go through the title thing.
Right.
So.
Regardless, here's Bon Jovi's "This House Is Not for Sale." It was an all right album. It was you were chomping at the bit for the next one, but Bon it was nice to listen to. It's older Bon Jovi, well, because he's older, so I guess it's newer Bon Jovi.
But it sounds like a more classic Jovi
right.
sound.
It is, and it was fine to listen to. It didn't really jump out at me that much. Here is Metallica. This is Hardwired from Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I'm just gonna play this for you.
Hardwired to self-destruct.
Okay, so there are things that I liked about that. I thought that the snare thing was interesting. The da 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 da, right? That was a musically interesting thing to do, and sort of a tired genre when it comes to drums, where you just have ticka 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 on the double bass all the time, or just weird djenty things. So then they thought, well, since people responded positively to that new snare thing, let's do a snare thing and Spit Out the Bone. I'm going to show you this, and it's going to break your little heart. Listen to this introduction. Agonizing. Okay, so just so that we don't have an issue where I play a whole stinking minute of this, I'm going to skip a little ahead. This is 1 minute in. 1 minute. A full minute in. It's horrible.
So
it's not good.
I was Tim a while ago had played me some of this just to give me a heads up.
Just so that I could vent to somebody about it.
And like a month or two later, this happened and it charted, so I listened to it. And Spit Out the Bone is definitely the biggest offender of this, but I was listening to the rest of the album, and it's very snare heavy to the point where I believe I texted Tim, this album should be called Hardwired to Snare Destruct.
But seriously, and it sounds like the way they treated the snare drum from a production standpoint, it sort of just sounds like a field drum the whole time. It's just so bright and sizzly.
It very much sticks out in the mix that you can't really ignore it.
And I think what they ended up doing, I'm certain that they queued up a sample because it sounds so robotic. It's like the same exact velocity in every single note, and it's just so. If you've seen Lars play, he's not that consistent. So to hear that in the studio, there's no way that he did that.
There was no way.
There was no.
There was no
That
way.
was not the way.
That was multiple jokes.
Do
put in
you
there.
know the way?
Again, Memecast, episode whatever.
Would you like Subway?
No,
one
but it's
would like
just
Subway.
but still, we've had two older rock groups. Both have pulled this, and they both charted. But it's kind of a. It's not like they're pushing more money because you get the album just as an addition to buying a concert ticket. So it's not like they're generating a ton of income from it, or at least for the album's sake. It's very much for the concert. And are they not pushing enough albums? Or
I don't know. There might be something like really business savvy about it because, I mean, getting additional certifications, boosting your album is worth the time, even if your primary source of revenue is the concert, because you can, when you're advertising for the concert, you can say that the tracks that they are have gone platinum or gone gold or whatever.
I mean, I'm just looking through these, and like the commercial performance for either of these is nothing like crazy. I mean, they're almost, this is like, the typical of what these kinds of groups in this current environment would have. They'll get up there for a week on the charts. They'll be up there for 1 week and then immediately drop. That's typical of most rock albums. Even U2, when they did both the remake of the Joshua Tree, when they did the remaster of that, and their songs of, I always get Experience and Innocence mixed up.
I think it's Innocence.
What was that? The second one?
Yeah.
The first one just popped up in everyone's iTunes.
Right, and that
They didn't do it with the second one.
right. So I think the
There's
first one is
another
Innocence,
rock group that's
actually.
doing weird things with their albums.
And who's that?
U2. Because they've shoved it like, oh, you have your album.
Oh
Suddenly
yeah,
in your
yeah.
iTunes.
With the promotional with Apple, when it just showed up in your music, like, oh hey, yeah, I never bought that. Why is it there? Ridiculous, or as they say, dericulous.
But
no one says that.
It's interesting how people can just some marketing ploy can really affect the charts, especially for me, for someone who looks at them daily.
Yeah, and it's an intense effect. I mean, you were saying that it jumped from 42, it being the Metallica Hardwired album, from 42 to number 2, or was it 1?
I'm gonna double check that now. Yeah, number 42 to number 2.
It's currently number 2
is
behind
currently-
what?
XXX Tentacion's question mark.
Not to be confused with Triple X, who I understand is a wrestler
Yes,
and a movie starring Vin Diesel.
but it jumped 42, and it's again by the time by tomorrow this will be changed because the charts update on Tuesdays. But
Yeah.
it's always like, because when something charts that was released a while ago, I usually look for a reason, but it's just interesting to see how people can affect albums.
Speaking how people can affect albums or markets, I understand that you have an interesting story. This one is an actual story, not just an observation.
This one has been reported by numerous sources. So the RIAA, which stands for the RIAA. What does it stand for?
Regional Intramural Athletic Acrobats. I did it. RIAA.
They're essentially the recording industry.
Oh. We're listening to someone off set who said
Thank
the
you to
recording
our
industry,
videographer for the
America.
Regardless, so the big
We'll have him put in a subtitle while we're bumbling for words. Thank you.
but the big thing though is that this is since 2011, this is the first time that physical media has outsold digital media in terms of music.
Now that's really important. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but it's interesting when physical copy can outperform digital copy. That's an indicator of a whole lot of things. Primarily that tells me brick and mortar isn't dead yet,
Right,
which is a beautiful thing.
And for the audience, we're going to we'll pop up the pie chart for you right here.
Oh, nice.
You can see that digital was at 15% and physical at 17%. I mean, from the chart, you can also see that streaming is still the majority of how people consume.
And that's a convenience factor.
That's 65%.
So what is
well over half.
driving the distinction between digital downloads and physical?
Oh yeah, and really quick, there's that little sync for 3%. But
It's pronounced cinch. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
regardless,
Please subscribe.
I would have to say, so there's obviously been a resurgence in vinyl. I do know
it's
that.
the vinyl countdown. The vinyl destination.
I do know people have been getting more vinyl. Because I do not think it's CDs. Because if you're going to get a CD, you might as well just get, let's be real, if you're getting a CD, you're going to upload it on your iTunes, rip it off the CD anyway.
Or it will go to the place where CDs go to die, your car.
Yes. With all
If you
those
don't
cassette
have an
tapes.
aux in,
Yep.
or if you have an iPhone 7 and you no longer have the ability
But I
to
mean,
use the
nobody's
aux.
walking around with Sony Walkmans anymore. It's all MP3 players.
Well, I am. I'm not.
Hipster Tim.
No, I still have a cassette player.
You're on cassettes? I have wax cylinders.
People are still selling cassettes for some reason.
Oh yeah, Erasure's last album, World Beyond, you could get on cassette.
So my next question is sort of informed by that. Do you think that it's a matter of nostalgia? Do you think that it's a matter of quality?
I don't think it's quality.
You don't think it's quality. Why is that?
Well, not traditional quality. I think it's the fact that you have something tangible. Because, like, especially with the vinyl,
the
vinyl, you got like the sleeve, and it was all decorative. And there's something to be said about having a record.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're called. I have a show called Record Rundown.
and it hasn't seen a record physically in a minute.
No, I don't think it's ever actually. Well, there are a couple of albums I've gone over that you could only get on vinyl, but that was more like the Coltrane Davis legacy recordings, stuff like that. But it's so many people have a love for vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
They would say it's a warmer sound, or
Yeah, well, that's anecdotally, in my experience, all the people in my life that really enjoy vinyl do it because they think that it's a more authentic sound. And there's something to that, because when you compress audio, just so you know, a certain spectrum of audio is cut out to reduce the file size. And when you reduce that, you lose a great deal of the character that you might not be able to physically feel. Like my hearing, I went to way too many Ted Nugent concerts as a kid, and I stopped hearing at about 15,000 hertz or so. But I still experience frequencies over that physically. Like I can feel like really, really ultra high frequencies I can feel in my teeth and that sort of thing. And ultra low frequencies you feel physically as well. And you lose those frequencies when you convert to digital, particularly codecs like the MP3 or Ogg Vorbis.
yes, MP3 is very compressed. In fact, normally when working in professional environments, you typically stick to waves.
Right.
.wav.
The only time I've ever been asked to deliver an MP3 is to have a small file for quick transfer and easy synchronization.
Because waves are not small. I know when turning in things for whatever reason, people like over email, especially if you're not doing Dropbox or a Google Drive,
Gotta keep
it's
it under
it's
that 20
always in
megs, man.
MP3s. But even then, there are fidelities. There's 192. There's 256. 320 is what I usually try to stick to, which is usually the highest you're going to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes. So these all play into the experience of having vinyl on top of being just a huge hipster and enjoying your IPAs.
But in terms of the physical, I believe it's vinyl, because vinyls are typically more expensive than CDs.
That's right.
So that's gonna push the market value up, just because of the price per unit is going to be more.
I mean, 2 physical records, are going to outperform like a 10-song sale.
Yeah.
You know, so the price per unit, that goes into these market indicators, which is really important to consider as well.
But again, the big caveat in this is that streaming still dominates. It's well over half the market.
Now, is this market, if you want to bring up the chart again, does this chart represent the total number sold, or is it the actual total revenue?
It is the revenue.
So
it is
I'm
the
wondering
music industry
if
revenues for 2017.
Is it counting ad sales, or is it counting subscriptions? Is it putting them all together?
If you go through, we'll link this document in the description. But if you go through it does go into like the streaming, free versus paid, and all of those things. So we'll link that in description. And if you're interested, you can go through all of it. But I wanted to specifically focus on the digital physical element.
Sure.
Even combined, that's still like hardly a third.
Yeah, so the percentages, the combined physical plus digital equals roughly half of the streaming.
It's about 32. It's about 32% of the revenue of the music industry.
I'm just wondering
United States music industry. We should be clear about that.
Yes, I'm wondering if our streaming numbers here are just skewed by ad sales, which you don't get the opportunity to have during the digital and physical transactions, which makes it kind of you're comparing apples and oranges there as far as how you're drawing the distinction between the two.
Regardless, I mean, so it does begin to break it down versus other like ad supported and stuff. But again, link it in the description. But I just wanted to mention that because that was a big deal. But so those are the big stories for today.
Yeah, that's really interesting stuff happening in the news there. So we're going to be going into a break real quick, and we'll catch you on the other side. This is Duly Noted with Tim and the Ma3stro.
And we're back.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
With your hosts, the Ma3stro. Ma3stro, Dave here.
Yo.
And there are some who call me Tim.
Some just call him Clarence.
Oh. Anybody Monty Python? No, I'm not seeing a single. Well, I'm just so sad.
Regardless, so this is gonna be the segment where we go over what's coming up, or in one case, what's already come up. But let's do some tours, and by tours I mean tour. Because once again, there's only one to talk about. One that is ending on March 31st, so it's actually already ended by the time we're recording this. This was Betty Who.
Who?
Betty Who. Who's on third? That's a joke.
Oh, the Who?
No, Betty Who. She was doing her Party in the Valley tour, promoting her album, The Valley. She has been touring since April 17th of last year, ended at the end of March.
You couldn't just go 17 more days and do a year-long tour? Shame.
I mean, she did 58 shows.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of shows.
She ended in the State Theater in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Ah, I'm really jealous of Florida weather right now. It is,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know, we're broadcasting from the great state of Michigan, which has 2 seasons, winter and construction, and it's not construction yet. So
It's winter. But here's a sample of what she did. She did perform this during the tour. This is her song, her most recent single, Mama Say, off her album, The Valley.
Apologize, give it to me one more time. You know you love a pretty girl, but what your mama say?
Okay, so when you said that, I imagined at first Mama Says from Footloose. I'm sure that's another song too. But Mama says it doesn't matter if you're a king or you're a... So when you played that, I was like, oh, that isn't even close. That's not even a little bit similar.
But yeah, that's thank you.
Got him. I've been waiting for it.
Regardless, that's the only tour that's ending. No, nothing's starting this week. So yeah. But we have a bunch of albums to go over. So I know on one episode I said we were going to skip over for the week of March 30th, but because we only have one tour, we're going to do 2 weeks of albums.
2 weeks.
So this will be for the previous week, the week of March 30th, and this week of things that are coming out this week.
Okay.
So we're just going to start going through them. So first we'll do the week of March 30th. We have Ashley McBride's Girl Going Nowhere. This is the song A Little Dive Bar.
Is it little or lil?
We're not doing that joke.
You're
Little
not doing that joke.
Dive Bar in Dahlonega. Dhlonega. And here's what that sounds like.
I got nothing. That sounds about right.
Lots of, yep.
This is a country song. Yeah.
Also, next we have Ben Harper and Charlie Musselwhite. No Mercy. Charlie Musselwhite. Musselwhite.
That has got to be a stage
It
name.
is not, actually. Regardless,
wow.
This is No Mercy in This Land from the album No Mercy in This Land. Charlie Musselwhite is a well-known harmonica player.
I guess so. With
Moving
an interesting name.
on down, Betty Levette, Things Have Changed, from the album Things Have Changed.
I've been trying to get just as far away from myself as I can. Something that...
So actually, these are actually good. So these are all examples of Americana,
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to country pop.
Shoots in their country.
Next, we have Caitlin
Nuclear.
Canty. This is Motel from her album Motel Bouquet.
That's a lovely sound.
Wow, these are actually all Americana so far.
That is a lovely
But I know this
sound.
next one won't be, and I actually did some research on this one because this was interesting to me. This is from the trailer released by Tidal. This is currently only available on Tidal, but this was from the trailer posted by Tidal from Dead Mouse's Where's the Drop. Now, Dead Mouse is an electronic artist, as we all know, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and play you this.
Hold on. Deadmau 5. Excuse me.
But I'm gonna play you this, and if
I have to give
And
corrections.
if you're a fan of Deadmau 5, you will notice a very different sound. These are all orchestral versions of Deadmau songs.
And he did them like a MIDI mock-up, or
No, these are actual orchestras.
no? my question is the Hans Zimmer question. Can he read
Deadmau5?
like sheet music? If the answer is yes, do you suppose he was the one that did the orchestration?
I know Deadmau5 was not the one who did it. I believe it was
good.
I want to say Joel Zimmerman.
Almost Hans Zimmer.
I could be wrong.
What if that's like a
stage name for Hans Zimmer?
No, Hans Zimmer can't do it because he can't read music.
Regardless, moving on down. En Vogue, their album Electric Cafe. This is Rocket.
It's Vogue. Now that's rocket as in to rock a chair.
No,
right?
rocket as in like they were saying get me so high like I'm in a rocket.
I thought she said rock me is what she said.
No, rocket.
See, this is why people who do vocal stuff things need to take diction classes, because had he not been here to correct me, I would have just thought it was like rock as in a rocking chair.
Moving on down. We have Escape the Fate, their album I Am Human. This is the track Empire.
This is going to be dope.
I'm too fucked up to care anyway. Breaking hearts and bottles everywhere.
We apologize to those in the hallway that heard that.
Hey, it's music. It's uncensored.
It's true. Art is art.
I do just pick a random 10 seconds in the track.
And
I
it
do
was
not
random.
listen to these.
It was indeed, but that was so beautifully picked.
Next we have, it was Frankie Cosmos's Vessel. This is the track Being Alive. There's another example of how to mic a snare.
Okay. Yeah. It was an interesting juxtaposition because it was such intense double time drumming and she just sounds so lackadaisical.
Next, Holy Wave's album Adult Fear. This is the track Habibi.
What?
Far out, man.
Bro.
Dude. Casey Musgraves' Golden Hour, track called Butterflies.
And I came out new.
Nice chill song. Kate Nash, Yesterday Was Forever. This is the track My Little Alien.
Eyes to light up the sky. Before I met you, the earth.
Yeah, that's good. I enjoy that. It's not My Little Pony.
I'm not even gonna touch it. Not even gonna touch it. Lindy Ortega, Liberty. This is the track The Comeback Kid.
I've been resurrected. Comeback
It's an interesting verb and delay tail on her voice. That was a lot of effect.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Next we have Mary Chapin Carpenter. Her album Sometimes Just the Sky. This is the track Heroes and Heroines.
Your eyes just entered under outlaw skies, a piece of land and a stubborn mind.
Yeah.
It's just a pleasant song.
Yep. We have a collab. This next one, collab, bro. MF Doom and Czarface.
Really?
Yep.
That's actually sounds
This
really
is
dope.
Czarface meets Metalface. This is the track Nautical Depth.
What?
Filthy get got while blinking. Rapper dude pick up jail like a recruiter. Gave lieutenant hit a boy, said he was a shooter. Told him man up.
See, I want that to chart, but I have a suspicion that it won't.
I have a feeling
It's not
you're
mainstream.
right.
It's not I love it, but it's not mainstream enough.
Dude, that's so dope.
Right?
I'm definitely going to buy that jam.
Mount Erie, Now Only. This is the track Tintin in Tibet.
You asked me and then just avalanched into me with pieces of orange and weight and kissing and certainty.
I don't know if it's a plate on his voice or something, but it just sort of sounds like it was recorded in a small bathroom, you know?
Sam Morrow, Concrete and Mud. I wonder if the Foo Fighters are going to get upset with that.
Maybe.
Heartbreak Man.
And your tickets for me. I'm paying for it now with my own damn blood on the concrete and mud. Like a runaway train.
Yeah, probably not. It's too far out of
Nah,
context.
but I mean, the album is so close to being concrete and gold. Next, The Garden. Mirror Might Steal Your Charm. This is the track Stallion. I picked a good 10 seconds, I guess.
Bow, 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 bow. Rock lobster.
A little bit. The Vaccines, Combat Sports. This is the track I Can't Quit. What does that guitar sound remind me of?
Well, it reminds me of Royal Blood, but they've been using that sort of a tone.
That like weird, overly distorted, but
It's
not like so not quite. I don't know. It's a weird.
It's like
it's a unique kind of distortion.
it sounds to me like there might be a couple mics on it. One's really fuzzy and placed on center, and maybe a second performance mixed
Yeah.
in. But it's a really great sound. I love that.
Next
sound.
up, The Voids, Virtue, Leave It in My Dreams.
I dig it.
Not bad, and
It's
probably
just a sound.
probably
I
the
love
biggest name besides Deadmau 5.
That's right.
On this is The Weeknd, My Dear Melancholy, an EP released.
It's Monday. Thank
This
you.
is the song Privilege.
And I don't wanna get that you were suffering. You were suffering. You were suffering. No.
I was playing with the track there, so really quick, I'm going to play it again because I was playing with it.
He's so good.
With a smile. And I don't wanna get that you were suffering.
Sounds like The Weeknd.
You were suffering.
Not as aggressive as Starboy was.
Right, but it's still clearly that. Yeah.
So that was all of those are currently out. They were released last week, and now for these next batch, these are all upcoming this week.
This week, upcoming now.
Yep.
Okay.
So all the ones we just played have already come out. These are the ones that are coming out this week.
Show me what you got.
Oh God, I was warned about this one. Amanda Palmer. I only listen to the Mountain Goats. All hail West Texas. And this is the track, The Best Ever Death Metal Band in Denton.
What did I just?
Jeff and Cyrus believed in their hearts they were headed for.
So I have actually insight on this one because my girlfriend, shout out to you, gave me the rundown on this. This is from
The record rundown?
the Night Vale podcast.
Ah.
And they reference a fictional or maybe real band called the Mountain Goats. So this was released. I only listen to the Mountain Goats. So if you're big into the Night Vale podcast, cross promotion podcast, Night Vale, hit me up.
Podcast
that'll be of interest to you based around that. Moving on down, Bambara, Shadow on Everything. This is the track Jose Tries to Leave. Yep.
I dig it. To address your question earlier, the Mountain Goats are a real band from Claremont, California, that's currently based in Durham, North Carolina.
Good to know.
With stuff as recent as 2017.
Huh. Regardless, moving on down.
I guess they're the greatest of all time.
Blackberry Smokes, Find a Light. This is the track Flesh and Bone.
Set me up, watch me fall. I wanna taste of it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next one I'm very familiar with. This is Bodak Yellow from Cardi B's debut album, Invasion of Privacy. There's a pop analysis on the single of this. If you want to go click, go watch it, go watch it, click the link, it popped up. Go click it, watch it. Here's the song.
I think he wants you to click it.
Bitch, I'm who they tryna be. Look, I might just chillin' some babe. I might just chill
We
with
got
your
some
boo.
dancing in
I
the
might just
studio,
spill on
I
your
see.
babe. My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face.
Okay, Cardi. Okay, Cardi. I like Cardi B. Don't be hating on
It's just
Cardi
that
B.
it's that one
the triplet.
flow.
It's the triplet.
It's the triplet, and then the 16th dotted eighth. The tuba tuba ba tuba tuba.
Fair enough. Well, moving on. Daniel Avery, Song for Alpha. This is the track Radius. That's certainly different.
Well, maybe they're skirting around the issue. I guess they should call this perimeter.
And we're moving on.
We've come full circle.
Here we have Dr. Octagon, Moose Bumps, an exploration into modern-day horripilation. This is the track Octagon Octagon by Dr. Octagon.
Octagon rice with octagon beans with octagon shrimp. Octagon stadium where the octagons play. I hear it every day. Octagon arena with octagon orchestra.
For those of you, Dr. Octagon is another name for an artist known as Cool Keith.
Now, please tell me his fans are called Aiders.
Because of an octagon.
Please tell me he only drinks Aiderade.
Moving
is
on.
His enemy Scepter
We
Man?
have Dusted's Blackout Summer. This is the song Backwoods Ritual. Real big diversity of recording techniques.
You know, and I'm really enjoying the fact that sort of early Beatles lo-fi sound is kind of making its way back, into the zeitgeist.
Next we have Eels. The Deconstruction.
They're the eel deal.
And this is their track, The Deconstruction, from The Deconstruction.
Oh, Deconstruction.
I'll break apart. I'll break apart right now. It's going to.
Again, that's got some Beatles flavor in there, man.
It does. Next, The Flatbush Zombies. The album Vacation in Hell. This is Headstone. Wow, they're really all in on that zombies theme. The track Headstone.
Oh.
In public, hated or love it, the underdogs with liquor swabs. It was written in my diary to start a war. I'm feeling infamous, immortal with my technique. A revolutionary.
I know this might not be correct, but I definitely just think of Tony Hawk Pro Skater when I hear that. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the not ska jam.
Here we have Gum, The Underdog. This is the title track from The Underdog, The Underdog.
Nice.
Yep.
I dig it. How many are left?
9.
Oh, man, that's
10,
so many.
16.
All right, we'll do 3 more.
Only 3 more?
Yep.
All right, fine. I'll start picking and choosing. Let's do Kylie Minogue. The album,
Not Minaj.
album Golden. This is her track Dancing.
I love that huge bass drum sound.
All right, moving on down. Mipso, album Edges Run. This is People Change.
I hate when people bring flowers, draped in glass, their final hour, and life rolls. It's all.
And to wrap it up, because we only can do one more, let's do 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh no, Jared Leto.
The album America. This is the track Walk on Water.
Those promises made, times are changing.
Do you believe that you can walk on water? I love that jam. It dropped last summer.
That did indeed drop last summer. There are a couple more, but because we had to shove everything into 2 weeks, we're going to have to cut it off here.
I'm afraid so. Now, it's this concludes our bit on tours and things, so we'll definitely catch you on the other side of this break for the vinyl verdict. Get pretty jazzed about that.
Ha. And we are back
Back.
for our last segment.
It's the last one.
It is the last one.
It's the final one might say.
It is.
The vinyl one?
The vinyl verdict.
Now, do I get to do the plug first? Should I do that? Should I do the plug?
If you want to.
I'll do the plug.
He's gonna do the plug.
All right, friends, my friends. I am in a band called Vox Ad Nil.
Which is linked in the description.
And we are opening for a little band known as We Came as Romans.
Not
and
Greeks.
Not Greeks.
Not Greeks, no.
No. The yogurt. No, We Came as Romans. They're sort of local legends. I think they're out at, like, Troy or something like that. Anyway, these cats are playing at the Crowfoot Theater April 7 at 6 p.m., We're really jazzed about it because they're amazing. So, as a promotion, we are doing a giveaway sponsored by Fueled by Coffee Media. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe for your chance to win 2 free tickets to We Came as Romans on April 7th. April 7th. That's my plug.
All right, and the vinyl verdict. Today's topic, best dead audio medium.
You added the audio so I couldn't make a large pun.
I'm getting wiser. So what do you think?
All right, so my instinct.
Your singular instinct.
My singular instinct is vinyl, obviously, because it's the better medium, but I'm going to amend that argument and say cassettes.
Cassette tape.
Cassette tape.
I remember listening to the Harry Potter books on cassette tape.
Oh my gosh.
They came. It's like, yes, here's book 5 on 42 cassette tapes.
Oh my Lord in heaven.
I'm gonna go old school, even older school than vinyl.
Uh-oh.
Wax cylinder.
Wax cylinders.
The very first kind of widely used audio recording technology.
Why?
Because it's the first, which makes it the best.
So that is not a good argument.
Screw your argument. I have wax cylinders.
It turns out that the first of anything isn't particularly good.
No, I'm going super mega ultra hipster.
I mean
wax. You know what? No. I amend that. Piano rolls.
Oh.
And I have an argument.
I guess that technically is an audio medium.
I have an argument for this because it can record live performance aspects.
Mm-hmm. So it is MIDI 0.0.
Exactly.
Because they actually call the MIDI editors these
and
days
I actually have a bunch of piano rolls. I may or may not own an actual player piano.
Painfully nerdy.
I may have not restored a 100-year-old Apollo player piano.
Why?
Because it was free.
Oh. Well, okay.
Well, it cost like $200-something to move, but you know,
wow,
it's currently held together with car parts and T-shirts.
Oh my Lord!
That's actually much more sturdy than you'd think.
I just imagined it in like a truck or something, just clamped and held together by car parts and T-shirts.
No, it's just fuel lines, and the T-shirts are like it's the T-shirt for the patch, then an epoxy is put over it. It makes a airtight seal.
Oh, it's just fuel lines.
Yep. There are fuel lines in this piano. I am not going to lie. I went to a car parts store, bought fuel lines, replaced the 100-year-old pipes that were in that piano with modern-day fuel lines.
Boy.
It works.
So your official vote is the piano roll.
Piano roll.
I'm telling you, it's got to be the cassette tape. It's got to be
But
the cassette tape.
But do cassette tapes have George Gershwin accompanying himself playing Rhapsody in Blue?
It can in your cassette tape
But
adapter.
Can I put it into my 100-year-old piano and have my piano play as if it was George Gershwin?
You know, I'm not sure I'd want to put much into that piano.
I put my heart and soul into that piano.
Oh, this is getting sad.
I will fight you.
I deserve that.
With the piano.
Oh, but so you're gonna pay another $200 to have it picked up and thrown at me? Is that
no,
what
I'm just gonna grab. I'm gonna grab like the A3 key and bring it here and just hit you with it.
Just bam. Ivory.
And ebony.
Probably actual ivory.
Yes.
Because you said it's an Apollo brand.
It was 1917.
Wow.
Melville Clark Apollo player piano,
old.
made in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yowza. That is an ancient.
We found the serial number and could cross-reference it to get the exact
I bet it was
time.
like only like 3 or 4 digits, right?
Hey, it wasn't. It was actually a couple of them. Oh, but some of the piano rolls I have are really old. You know, you have something old when the serial number for it is like 52.
Ah. Actually, I have a funny story about that. Not to take too much time, but I have a tuba with a 4-digit serial number that was manufactured in the 1930s in Germany, just about the time Hitler was rising to power.
My piano's older than your tuba.
Oh, most pianos are older than most tubas because tuba hasn't really been around that long.
Fair enough.
Yep. So the vinyl verdict
is piano roll.
Is wrong. No,
It's
it's
piano
the
roll. It's a piano roll.
It's the cassette tape.
Whose channel is this on?
It could be mine. Peter, can you upload it to mine?
And this is the argument that breaks the podcast.
Yeah, you're not. I'm not losing Peter in this divorce.
No, I'm really just saying piano roll because it's amusing to me. I was just gonna say the oldest medium I could think of.
All right, so the final thing we've got for the vinyl
Yes.
verdict segment is this
Well,
new
technically,
thing.
this isn't part of the vinyl verdict. This is just we're gonna end the podcast with. We are now looking to promote independent artists. That is an artist that is not signed. So if you are interested in such a promotion, you can go ahead and send us your stuff at dulynotedcast@gmail.com. All we need is a description of what it is you do, what it is you're doing.
And if it's a cold one with the boys, it's a bromotion. What's up? You know what? Yeah, bromotion.
And a song, so you can send that to
And
us.
a song.
And also any links to anything you want. But we do have our first indie plug. This is an artist by the name of DAMYN. That is all capitals, spelled DAMYN. You can find him at DAMYNmusic.com, DAMYN.bandcamp.com, and he's DAMYN Official at all Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
Very nice.
I do know this man personally. We went and we did our graduate schooling together.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
At the Longy School of Music in Cambridge,
I'm
Massachusetts.
sorry, DAMYN. I'm kidding. I can't just leave you alone.
But this song that we have, he released it back in February. This is going to be off his debut album that is set to release this summer in 2018, and his second single will actually be premiering quite soon. So we're going to head and just give a little taste. This is the song "Other Side of the Glass" by DAMYN, DAMYN.
You are not another one like all too often they seem to be.
This is dope.
It is. It's a very kind of like art pop.
Yeah. This is really nice.
Yep. So again, that is DAMYN. You can find him at DAMYNmusic.com, DAMYN.bandcamp.com, and DAMYN Official for all social media and SoundCloud. All of this will obviously be in the link description.
Can I find him on MySpace?
But yep.
I'll be glad